Join.
All right, so we are live on Facebook. Hello, everyone. Glad to be with you for another inspirational interview, our Wednesday afternoon inspirational moments in this group. So welcome, and I'm here with Iva Paleckova. She has a wonderful name to say. Hi, Iva. Glad you're here.
Hello. So happy to be here.
Yay. So I invited Iva here to talk with us about, she's a business coach and business strategist, and I'll read her bio in just a moment, but I wanted her to talk with us just about the concept of imposter syndrome, because it's something that all of us can experience in different parts of our lives. She focuses on it mostly in business, which many of us are in business, and so she might be a lady you want to talk to more. But let me just share a little bit about her. Iva is a 7-figure entrepreneur, a #1 best-selling author, award-winning international speaker, and an executive coach for entrepreneurs. She's also a single mom to now 6-month-old Lexi, and committed to being, doing, and having it all. She's wildly passionate about helping female service-based entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants and moms to scale their success beyond their wildest dreams. She's had lots of business adventures herself and has traveled around the country and the world. And she is taking lots of business owners to new heights. So welcome to Yoga and More.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so grateful to have you here. And those of you that are tuning in, feel free to type in questions if you have anything along the way that you'd like to ask Iva. Happy to share your questions with her. So Iva, let's dive into first talking about what is imposter syndrome? How does that show up?
Such a good question. You know, in the world of entrepreneurs, we just kind of assume that everybody knows because we have battled with it for so long. But it's basically just feeling in many areas of your life, not just business, that you're imposing on somebody's time and space, and always like treading and being careful. And it really comes down to not feeling worthy to take up time and space, and especially somebody else's time, if that makes sense. And it shows up in many different ways. And I will tell you, I work with many entrepreneurs, and it is absolutely the first thing. You know, we always have to make mindset shifts as we grow in our careers and our businesses. And it's the first thing that will hold your career or business back if you don't deal with it. Yeah. It totally limits your potential. It totally will shrink you down and completely cut you off from a lot of possibilities of growth. So it's a total mindset thing. And it's something that we all absolutely have to work through.
Yeah. Excellent. So why is tackling imposter syndrome important beyond, if we look at it like, yes, in business, it can hold us back, but there's these layers, right, that ripple out into our lives, like how we show up in relationships, how we manage our money, how we see our potential in the world. Do you want to talk a little bit more about?
The things you just mentioned, right? Like, it is like, and you just mentioned it like 5 minutes ago, the way you show up on the yoga mat, right? The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you don't feel worthy to take up your space, now I'm not a yogi, but you know, if you don't feel worthy, you take up your space and you're going to be like this. That's the same way you're going to be in business. When you show up on live video, for example, and you're going to like feel like you're imposing on somebody's feed, or when you're reaching out and sending out that email to your boss or to your potential clients, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I am bothering them or whatever. Mm-hmm. You can see how that completely limits you. So I kind of want to, if that would be okay, I want to dive into some very specific shades.
Absolutely. Give us some
specific shades and examples. And if you guys are like, you know, if you guys are like relating Like, tell us in the chat, like, if you're getting something out of it, because I want to know I'm not the only one who has suffered this, because I'm like the worst. Okay. I'm like the worst when it comes to imposter syndrome. It's like the thing that I'm always working on. And you would think, like, after speaking on so many stages and being live on camera, I've overcome it. No, I have not. I still battle with this. It just shows up in different stages in your business and at different levels, but it will always come up. And I feel like it's one of the, maybe it's like more of a female thing. Like, that's just something that we're born with. We always like try to shrink down on some level, but it's just something that I feel like I will never stop working on it. It will always be sort of a lurking in a background. So
Yeah.
So there's like, I wrote an article recently on the 8 shades of imposter syndrome, but I just kind of want to highlight a few of those. Like, the first one is the, I call it the not qualified enough, or not expert enough, or not whatever. And I see it in the corporate world. And I spent a lot of years in the corporate world too. And I saw it there, and I see it in the world of entrepreneurship, and the way it shows up, it's like, I need to get this certification. I need to get that certification. I need this stamp of approval to tell me that I now have expertise to go and teach and go and share. Right. And it just like doesn't seem to stop. Like, for example, one of my clients, like, she literally like 25 different certifications and modalities. Wow. And I have another client, 70 different modalities. And I'm like, okay, when does it stop? When is enough enough? When do you feel worthy enough to go and teach? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you guys are relating to this, like, put 1 in the chat, like, give us a 1. If you're relating to this and you're going like, yeah, I sometimes feel like it, like, I should study more. I should gain more expertise before I actually show up and present, and I have the confidence to share what I know. So that's the first thing.
We'll get some of those coming in here shortly. There's a little delay. So.
Yeah, I know, there always is. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I don't know. Like, I'm super curious, Hannah, if you ever experienced it, like, at the beginning of your journey, if that came up for you as well.
Oh, absolutely. That one in particular. Like, I have lots of degrees and lots of letters after my name. And
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And and recently just getting to the point of, like, I thought about going back to school for Ayurveda this past year. And then I was like, no, I know enough to help a lot of people. Having more training is not going to give me a whole lot more. I need to focus on building my business to reach more people, not gaining more knowledge that's almost too specific in a way that doesn't help me, like, meet the general needs. You know, it's like,
I know
it's enough. And to feel that we're enough. We talk about this a fair amount in the program that I run, the Vitality Circle, like, that women especially are given the message of, we're both too much and not enough at the same time. Like, we're too emotional, or too needy, or too ambitious, or too, right, fill in the blank. And then we're also not enough. Like, we need more credentials, we need more skills, we need to look different or be right. There's like this mixed message that we get, which is totally what you're speaking to. So give us another one.
Well, the bother is what I call it, is the bother. It's you know, in business, we do a lot of outreach. We send a lot of DMs. We invite people into our challenges and workshops and whatnot, right? And it happens the same thing in a corporate world. When you're trying to, like, run a project, you need to get a buy-in from different parties, like, whatever you're doing, right? And that is, you have to do that if you're committed to living your purpose and serving people. You need to find the people to serve, right? Like, you can't just, like, wait for them to show up and, you know, magically they will come, and then you will be surrounded by your tribe, and then you'll be able to deliver on your purpose. It doesn't happen like that. We're not in a world where, you know, way back when, like, when social media started, you would put a post here, you would put a post there, and people are like, ooh, there's something going on. They would come to you. It does not happen. You actually have to go out there and find your people that you want to serve, right?
Right.
And that happens in the corporate world too. You will have to build a team around you. You will have to, you know, in order to progress in your career, you will have to interrupt people in what they're doing. You will have to be reaching out, and you will have to be asking them to take a certain action. whether it's like contribute to this project or whether it's like come and join my challenge, right? And for us women specifically, I feel like there's this thing like I don't want to annoy people. I don't want to send another DM. Like I don't want to impose. I don't want to bother them with yet another email. I don't want to bother with the Facebook Live notification. And it's such a huge thing. And when I looked for myself where this showed up for me, and I think all of us have like a little bit of a story. And by the way, if you're relating, give us a 2 in the chat, 2 for bother.
We've got some ones that came in.
Awesome. I can't see the feed, so I'm like,
right.
I'm like super
I'll
sad.
report.
I can't see the feed. Hopefully, when I get approved, I'll be able to. I'll be
you are approved.
I am. I can see it. Awesome. I want to like see who's commenting here. Thank you guys for the feedback. So if you're relating to bother, give us a 2 in the chat. Like if you feel like if you always have this thing like I don't want to be annoying people, I don't want to be imposing, I don't want to be bothering, like that thing. And for me, when I looked, when this started, and I think all of us have a story. So I wasn't raised in this country. I was born and raised in the Czech Republic. In case you can't tell from my accent, I'm not from here. It's a super weird accent. But anyway, we have school canteens. I assume you guys do too. We have school canteens where you like put stuff on your tray and then you awkwardly go search for the dining room who you're going to sit with, right? Do you guys have like a similar
we call it cafeteria. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it can be like, when you're that age and you're trying to like find your peers and you're trying to like fit in, for me, that was like one of the most nerve-wracking experiences. And I remember a day specifically, like a specific day, like I put I put the stuff on my tray and then I see like, there's like people that don't really like me because I was not the popular kid. And there's 2 girls who are like semi-safe. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit with them. So I don't sit alone because that would look like a total idiot. Right. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit with these 2 girls. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit with them. Like, I don't really like them, but that's fine. They're not going to hate me. And so I start walking towards the table and I see them look at each other and whisper something. Right. And I'm like, well, it's too late to change the direction. So I keep walking and I'm just like, oh, can I sit here? And they're like, no.
Oh, no.
And in that moment, you know, I think I was 10-year-old when this happens to you as a 10-year-old, when you're still developing, this is a decision that has a lifelong impact. Right? Because I made a decision I would never bother anybody with my presence, right? And it was a decision that was made in a moment because it was so embarrassing. The rejection of it was so embarrassing because everybody was watching, everybody could see that, right? And I think all of us have some form of experience. I'm not a uni butterfly here, right?
No,
do you have
an all? You're getting some 2s. Yeah.
I think all of us have had something like that to happen. And like, as kids, we interpreted it, I'm a bother to the world. Nobody wants me around kind of thing. Right. And so, you know, fast forward 20 years later in my business, I'm owning a couple restaurants and I have it on my calendar that every day at 10 a.m. I'm supposed to be doing catering sales. I'm supposed to pick up the phone, dial the numbers, call the companies and secure some catering sales. Now, what happens every day at 10 a.m., right? The time block thing pops up on my calendar. I know I'm supposed to be making the phone calls, but I'm like, I need to go do the dishes, right? Oh, there's this like notification on Facebook, the red thing. I need to like look through that. What if there's something urgent? Oh, you know, somebody needs something. So by like 10:30 rolls around, I'm still like going in circles, like not the butt is not in that chair. There's no phone calls being made, right? Like in 10:40, I'm finally like looking at my spreadsheet. Okay, I'm gonna make those calls, right? And so I dial the number, and it goes like, "Please don't answer, please don't answer, please don't answer," right? like that, because it still lives for me like I'm bothering people with, you know, my communication, my presence, or whatever. So here's the thing. Like, this is something that we need to, there's no easy way to go through, but I made a decision at some point in my business that I was not going to let the bother syndrome slow me down ever. and I would be reaching out. I would be on camera. I would be doing speaking, like no matter what. And if there is a fear that comes up for me and it's like, oh, I shouldn't be bothering that person, like I will make that call no matter what. If that thought shows up, like I have no excuse because I made a decision. I was not going to let this hold me back because it's not reality. It's not reality. Now there's the other side of the coin, right? Everything is kind of a mirror. And if you feel like you're bothering people when you send that email, when you send that message is traveling with that energy, right? So they might actually feel bothered by you. They might feel annoyed because that is the energy you send out there. Now, if you're sending out an email or a message and you're so excited and you're so confident and you're so clear about why is it that they should show up to your event, like that is what's going to land for them on the other side. That's what they're going to feel. And they're going to be like, heck yeah, I'm excited. I'm coming. You know what I mean? So the world is a mirror. Like like a business is a spiritual journey. And so everything you do, how people respond, how people react is for your own spiritual learning. Right. So if they're annoyed, if they're bothered, if they tell you like, you know, like you're a little overbearing or pushy or whatever, that is exactly what you're afraid of as showing up as, right? Like they are showing you what you need to evolve, like what is the next thing of your evolution, what you need to let go of. And the bother is super, super important. So did we get some more twos in the chat?
We've just got a couple.
Awesome.
And Suzanne said 2nd grade, she remembers Laura and Kathy. Yep, she
Laura
had a similar
Kathy,
experience.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like those are the ones we never forget, right? And the question is like, what did you decide? Like, because like that experience, like, you know, it still has emotional charge. You still remember the 2 names and it like, and now like, how is this affecting your life today? Right. And that's what we need to look at. Like, who would we be? How would we show up to the world if that wasn't there?
Right.
If you were so confident and if you like, you were so unsuppressed in your communication and how you show up and that wasn't there for you, what would life be like? Where would your career be? Where would your business be? This is why it's so important to let go of that.
And I find it's helpful to have other people reflect those things. Like those pieces are often hard for us to see on our own. It often takes somebody, either a coach or a good friend or somebody, to be like, why are you believing that? Or like, what's in the, right? When you like didn't want to make the phone call at 10 a.m. Like to have somebody be like, what's the resistance here? Like, what's the story that's coming up, or what's the fear? And to have somebody there to really talk through it or coach you through the resistance, because we often don't see what we're closest to. And we need somebody else there to help us clearly see what's coming up, right?
Well, that's the definition of a blind spot, right? That's why it's a blind spot.
Yeah.
It's just like, I have a team of coaches to be like constantly reflecting stuff to me, right? So so
oh, give us another one. These are great.
Comparisonitis. So crazy. Like I will tell you, even as a business coach, right? And I have a lot of other business experience. I have owned a chain of restaurants. I have done health coaching before. I put about 5,000 people through my online health coaching programs and whatnot. But even like now I'm a business coach, and like all like I'm doing for the first 5 months, like it took me 8 months to get a first client. It was crazy because all I was doing was comparing myself to other people out there. And there was this like, okay. And I bet a lot of, you know, like maybe if you're one of those people, like looking at other people's Instagram profiles and what are they doing and this and that. And it was a conversation that I had with my current coach. Right. And I said, it was one of my first sessions with her. And I was like, you know what, like you're a business coach. I'm a business coach. Like you are 20 times more successful than I am. And we teach about the same things. Why should people want to work with me and not with you? And she goes like, Eva, that's really simple. That's really simple. People want to work with you because they are drawn to your energy. They're drawn to your stories. They're drawn to whatever the mix. Right. it's a, you know, and she's like absolutely fabulous. And I love her to death that she's like, you know what, not everybody loves me. There's a lot of people who go through my workshops and they absolutely hate me. They can't, you know, not everybody's going to love you, but you have to trust that you are the right person for your people. You're not right for everybody, right? You're not right for everybody. 98% of the people who are in my group, it's our business, are never going to turn into clients that are just going to get the free whatever, right? All the free workshops that we do. But they're going to end up working with somebody else. Is it okay? Absolutely, because they are the match for the other person. I don't know, maybe there's a spiritual contract in place. Maybe it's the right level of energy. Maybe it's the level of experience. Maybe that's like the perfect mix, but you have to trust that you are the right person for your people. Comparisonitis, it's so destructive unless you're using comparisonitis to get inspired, unless there's a person that really inspire you and you're like, that's where I want to be. Like, that's how I want to show up, right? I find people who inspire me all the time. When I see something that really inspires me, I know that I already have that inside of me. It's just been blocked by all this other imposter syndrome crap. Forgive me the French, right? Like it's being wrapped in something, but it's already in me. So use comparison to your advantage, but never, ever tell yourself you're not good enough because you don't have the same qualification as this person over here, or you don't have the same charisma as this person over here, right? Like when I have a lot of clients that go do live workshops and Zoom workshops and this and that. And they're like, but Iva, I'm not like a dynamic speaker. I'm not like you. Right? And I tell them, here's the thing. I repel a lot of people that would be attracted to you. A lot of my clients have very grounded energy. They're very patient. They're very calming. I'm none of that. I'm like, get shit done kind of girl, right? But they're very like, that's how they lead, is from a very, very, very different energy. So you have to trust, whether it's in a corporate setting, like you're trying to like build a team, or as an entrepreneur, you're trying to attract clients. You have to trust that you are perfect for the type of clients you're attracting. You're the perfect match. Your experience, your stories, your methodology, the vocabulary you use, the accents you have, your age, everything is perfect. So like your experience, everything is absolutely the perfect match for your perfect people. I hope this is helping. For any of you guys who tend to like compare yourself to other people, like give us a 3 in the chat, because it can be so distractive. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I can see this really coming up in our yoga practices too, right? Like even people comparing themselves to me, watching me do yoga and then being like, well, I don't look quite like her, or, you know, I'm older or younger or whatever it is. And we talked about this actually last week with Kathy Woods, talking about finding your own personal practice. For those of you that watched that interview, that we can really just be in the practice being like, what is my practice? Like, what is the expression of this pose in my life that feels good in my body, that feels expansive, or whatever it is that I'm working towards, and that it's not comparing to some outward thing, but recognizing that inward value, right? So that's really what it's coming back to, is like, I have something unique to offer, whether it's a shape of my body or an expression of a business tactic or whatever it is, that it's, it all weaves together, right? Like, are we comparing and I love the idea of comparing to inspire too, that we can. And we talk about that in the Vitality Circle in terms of identity evolution, that when we see other people that are where we want to be, we can like borrow their success. Like, if they can get there, so can I, right? Instead of being like, oh, if they did, I can't, right? It's more like, if they did, I can. So it's really
Yeah. And
inspiring.
here's the thing, the people who are succeeding, they didn't get there overnight.
Right.
Like,
It's easy to tell that story though. That it's
um,
easy for everybody else, but not me.
yeah, I want to share something with you guys on that note. Like,
Yeah.
I am somebody, when it comes to public speaking, for example, who's like still terrified of public speaking and doing Facebook Lives? Like, give me a me in the chat or whatever.
Let's see what's coming in here.
Because I will tell you, even when I was getting my MBA at the University of Texas, like I would get B minuses because I could not raise my hand because I was so terrified I would say something stupid in front of a classroom. So I did not get any participation points, even though it was required, right? And then I remember we were doing this presentation project for the American Airlines, and we were literally like a team. We're doing like a team project, like a strategy consultative presentation. And we were supposed to present to one person, one corporate. It was not even an executive, somebody in the company, right? I like ordered like I think it was Valium on a black market from India because I was so horrified. I was like, I cannot do this presentation. And I blurred it all out, slurred my words, made it through. So that's where I was, okay? Like it's like
you've come a long way.
Oh my gosh. Then I was like, okay, I realize just how much this is holding me back in my career. So I started going to Toastmasters, these 5 to 7 minute presentation. For those of you guys who have been, it was mortifying. I would memorize every sentence. But it was progress, right? And last year I booked 70 speaking engagements around the country. Now, was I still terrified every time? Yes. Every time I'm sitting in the audience, waiting for my name to come up, I still have the throat in my heart in my throat, right? Like it's still like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like the feeling when you're like, it's my turn. But you have to commit to being like, if you want you have this life really, really use you and to really fulfill on your purpose, you have to commit to being uncomfortable and always stepping through these things, always pushing yourself to the next level. Maybe you're not going to go and present to 50 people at once, but maybe you're going to run that workshop for 2 people or something, right? Or go on a Facebook Live for the very first time or something. Because to double your success means to double your courage. It doesn't happen any other way. It really doesn't. We're often doing like the 99 things, right? We're getting busy with, I see it with entrepreneurs like working on their website, creating content, doing this thing over here so that they can avoid the one thing that they're so afraid of doing, but it's oftentimes like the only thing that is actually going to move them to the next level.
Yeah.
Be it sales, be it speaking, be it going live, be it reaching out to former clients, be it doing, social selling and whatever you have, right? Like they will like do all these other things. And same thing in corporate, same thing in your job. Like you're going to get yourself busy with the other stuff when there's the one thing you want to achieve and you need to talk to the head honcho about it, right? So it really like I want everybody to like write this down and frame it. To double your success and your impact means doubling your courage and doing that constantly. Not like I'm going to go out there and do it and then I'm going to turn the handbrake on and stop and then go hide, right? Because that's what we tend to do. Like go and then that was too much. I'm going to go hide. What are people thinking right now, right? Kind of thing. But like,
yeah,
actually,
it's like what Brene Brown talks about is a vulnerability hangover. Like we share a lot and then we're like, I can't believe I did that. I'm going to go hide, right?
Yes. And then we'll use.
I was just going to say, amazingly, our half hour has gone by.
It has, hasn't it?
Thank you.
Well, perfect timing, though.
Yeah. So where can people find you if they want to learn more about what you do and see what you offer?
So here's the thing, guys. For those of you guys and gals, obviously, if you are in business, like I work with entrepreneurs, but we have so much that we give you for free, like amazing resources before we ever have a conversation about working together. And one of those things that we are doing pretty soon is a 5-day serve method profit lab, where we're going to teach you how to build your business from a place of service. Because here's what I know. So many people in business totally hate marketing and totally hate sales because they see it as anything other than serving people, serving, which is what you do in your business here. You serve, you show up, you teach yoga every day, you do your challenges, you take people so far before you ever ask them to be your client, right? And that's what we teach people to do, serve so much. And you fulfilling on your purpose through your marketing. Like, imagine what that would be like if you could do your marketing, sales, and love it. Like, love it so much. What do you think I'm doing here, right? Like, we had a lot of fun. This is marketing. This is us having fun here, having a conversation and sharing about something I'm so passionate about, right? That's like me taking you from A to B, right? Like letting go of your imposter syndrome, but there's this whole B to Z journey taking you to multi-six figures, if that makes sense. But like along the ways, there's going to be the B to C, building your 12-month roadmap, showing you how to scale, like helping you build your virtual community, yada, 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 right? So those are all the things we do for free, teaching you how to show up, how to be powerful, how to build your community. So that's going to happen in the next challenge that we have going on. So for those of you ladies who are in business, it's called It's Her Business. I'm going to pop a link below. Or if you could just go on Facebook and you type in It's Her Business, it's a community of about 1,600 members. You just like go in there and join us in the next workshop. And by the way, say hi when you come in and let us know we met here in Hannah's group. And so we know where you are joining us from. Or friend me on Facebook or whatever. Let's connect over Messenger. So thank you so much for having me here.
Thanks for bringing your wisdom about business, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from some folks here. It's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope you have a good rest of your afternoon. And folks that are watching, if you want to post anything below, feel free. And we'll be back here again next Wednesday with an awesome next inspirational interview. Thanks, Iva. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Bye.